Okay, today I want to take a look at what I believe will be a dimensional shift, what I call a dimensional shift, which are these tweaks in our reality. I think there's going to be one coming up, at least locally. I live in Minnesota in the United States, at least locally on Thursday. So I want to take a look at this. Now, my prediction is based on dramatic drops in air temperature. Now, this might not be a real fucking pattern, right? I do not know. Time will tell. But I've noticed some basically things that I consider to be dimensional shifts that are coinciding with dramatic shifts in air temperature. And it's going to drop like 20 degrees in one day, and Thursday is going to be like way colder. Now, this is local, but I'm pretty sure that these would also be true no matter where you are. So if there is a dramatic drop or a dramatic rise in, well, I don't even know about the dramatic rise, but for sure the dramatic drop in air temperature, that it might be showing some sort of a other thing happening. So let's just look at this because it's supposed to happen on Thursday here in Minnesota. So what do we get? So a root card of the Seven of Pentacles, the witch practicing witchcraft here, but this is about developing your skills, learning by doing. And that comes out with a Three of Pentacles, which is creative collaboration. So this looks really, really good. So we have learning more about something that you're trying to learn about, and here it happens in a collaboration. Now, I should say that in the three, there is no leader in the three. This would be like a bunch of students working together or a bunch of fucking professors working together, right? But it's not a teacher student type thing. This is a collaboration, and they grow together. They kind of imprint themselves on each other as they're doing this collaborative stuff, with the foundation of everybody learning more about what it is that they're trying to learn, learning by doing. So let's just do a before and after. Whoa! Now, I would say that this looks a lot better, but let's just see what we got. All right. Before the collaboration, King of Pentacles. So this is stable energy. This is the wise investor. Um, and after the collaboration, we have a Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is maybe something that you were trying not to deal with. And then eventually it sort of catches up with you. So unresolved shit is going to return. And then with the 10, there's kind of nothing that you can do about it other than to learn your lesson and move on. Now, there is suffering that shows up in it, but that's what happens when you fucking hide in a box and all the swords find you anyway. So it's interesting that this does go from some sort of stability to, I guess, a place of suffering. Now, because this is rather cryptic, let's just find out if. I don't think the 10 is talking about new suffering, right? I think the 10 is talking about choices that were made in the past that become very clear. But let's just find out more about this 10 of Swords. And we get a Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups, the loving, devoted mother. So this would have something to do with devotion that you have given. What else do we got coming out of here? I just keep seeing the jewels. I don't really know what this is necessarily talking about, but we get the jewels on the cup and also these little decorations that I'm really seeing stick out on the robe. So this would be dedication probably of riches. And as we look more at this, then maybe this is investments that were made in the past and like poor examples of devotion with your riches. Let's pull one more because this is still kind of fuzzy. And the freaking Emperor. Okay. So we've got control. We do have the crescent moon in both of these, but dedication and I mean, I guess this is dedication maybe given to the Emperor. I'm not really sure because they're looking at each other here. So the Queen of Cups is devoted and giving dedication, I guess, to the Emperor. And here, this looks like energy where this had happened before. And maybe it was misplaced or something like that. But it ends up feeling the effects. Now, this doesn't seem very good, but learning a lesson is good. So let's just see, let's try to look a little further out from the 10 past that initial disruption, and then we get the Empress. So this would sort of, now this makes sense to me. This is the womb, right? And this is the womb that has been betrayed. Um, in this case, like by ourselves. So the space that we have inside to create new things and to be fertilized, we'll say, that space has been filled with hurt, with suffering. So here, that suffering comes up. And anytime in healing, right, if you're doing like energy healing or something like that, and there's powerful energy healing that can be done, but it doesn't just evaporate. The suffering does not evaporate. It has to come to the surface and work its way out. So if you end up, and I'm talking like Thursday and Friday, like whatever this fucking gate is, if there is even a gate. So whatever it is, it looks like it is a great time for collaboration and learning. But through this process, it is going to bring up some womb type energy, and that shit isn't going to be shiny and happy. But it must be cleansed because what is a little further down the line is the Empress energy. And you don't want this to be in your belly when, you're trying to fucking create a baby. Okay, the Empress also is really about working with what is around you, and being open to the influences that are there. The Empress, I always say this is like the flower. The open flower doesn't have to do anything to attract a bee. It just has to be open. So we've got this case where we are going to have to be open. But in order for that to really happen, the suffering has to be cleansed. So let's just see if there's um, any other. So I'm going to look at some guidance, and I'm also going to look at something to be left behind. So I guess we're going to do the left behind first. What really gets left behind? So we kind of have two cards here. And we'll put one down for guidance. Now, what gets left behind? in the Four of Pentacles, this person here's the fucking portal, right? And they're resisting. They're resisting the change because they don't want to lose the shit that they have clung on to and identified with. Now, to me, because I've got this whole Western astrology thing going on, this would be any part of me that identified with Western astrology. Admittedly, there wasn't a whole lot there, but this is after I see the truth, right? That all of that shit is wrong. It's a false reading of a chart, but this would be the part of me that identifies with it. And it's like, oh my God, I don't want to walk through and like relearn everything that I've learned, um, which I personally have no problem with. I've already gone through that gate, but this is that type of thing. And also, we get a Four of Swords, and the Four of Swords is like a period of withdrawal, and it's withdrawing from all the crazy shit so you can kind of clear your head. And it looks like that isn't going to be necessary. So if you have been in a period of withdrawal, then that doesn't really need to be true, at least after Thursday. And um, this sort of clinging on to old shit that doesn't have anything to do with you whatsoever, that is also to be left behind. And the beacon card here, or like a further guidance, Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is very unique in their creativity in the way that they do things, and the Page of Wands showing up as guidance is just saying, like, do things the way you do them. And don't let other people tell you that you can't do the things that you know you can do. In in a terrible example of this, because I'm like trying to learn astronomy, I'm fucking learning math, and I'm trying to get the science education that I was never given in the terrible school that I went to. So I've had people, multiple people, tell me straight up that I am not smart enough to figure this shit out, which I think is insane because these people don't fucking know me, and I personally think I'm a freaking genius. Now, if if I believed them, then I would fall down as I'm like trying to learn this stuff. But I don't believe them. I think they're shitheads, right? So that is me believing in myself, the unique way that I have of seeing the world and understanding it. And I believe I can learn this stuff and maybe even bring something to the table. Okay, so this is my Page of Wands. So in your life, it's just saying, like, if there's a thing that you believe you can do and you're surrounded by naysayers, fuck them. Yeah, I guess that's what we get. And if you have any other insights into the cards, feel free to let me know. Any other questions or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see because I'm predicting some sort of dimensional shift happening on Thursday, at least locally in like the Midwest. And I haven't checked the meteorological maps to find out how big this temperature drop is, but I'm sure it would happen around massive storms too. Anytime there's a big shift in the air temperature, I think that is my current theory, is that is a sign of some other shit going on. So that's what we have for now, and peace.